And I bet they're not in the room, but the folks, they did a lot of thinking and running and planning, but the people that did the work, Patty Seitzer and Meg Coney, they were out front at registration. Please join me in thanking these folks. So why are we here? Ultimately, we want to use this brain power to help us both conceptualize and develop a set of directions that will enable our institution to really be the 21st century community college. And you know, we've got a live broadcast planned later this afternoon. So if you think I'm a little concerned now, Rick, coming out of Washington, D.C. in real time, so we'll see. We're here to try to conceptualize this 21st century community college. And we did a little work looking at a President's Commission on the community college to try to understand what that might mean. And it was just amazing to me that this simple quote, for me, bridges what sometimes is a schism for community colleges as we debate the value of a general education and the ability to go to work and make a living. This Presidential Commission talked about a way in which we could help our students and our citizens develop rich and satisfying lives and also earn a living. This commission wasn't in 2009. We knew this back in 1947. Basic premise of the community college. That has not changed. It will not change. What has changed is the stakes that are involved in some of the challenges with respect to how we get there. No, we've absolutely set ourselves up for a vision that we believe we cannot be successful developing a community, developing our institution, developing our region or our state, if we don't understand fundamentally what student success means, how we define it, how we account for it, and how we develop pathways so that every one of our citizens, beginning at their earliest age, can find a pathway to success that will bridge across their life. And for us to have that vision, we know fundamentally the college in itself cannot affect it. Not possible. We count on each other too much for the college to take on that task. Now, as I said earlier, we've not asked you to come today to drink the Kool-Aid of student success. But we hope by the time you have engaged in our conversations, talked at your tables, brainstormed about our future, and helped us set up some tentative directions, that your passion for the vision will be like ours. We have to have it, folks, because fundamentally we're not capable of promoting this agenda without you. Now, visions are great things. I mean, they really are wonderful. And sometimes it's easy to think about them in a dreamlike state. You know, I can sort of think about it and I can see it. And it's really a nice dream. A plan that just gets developed without any end goal in mind, without any grand idea, is simply that. And it typically gets lost in the urgency of day to day. So what we try to do, what we want to do with this conference, is set up in your mind's eye a future state that we can all be a part of and help create, so that when the day gets really terrible, and I don't know about you, Jack, but mine does occasionally, that we'll remember what we're here to do. A vision with a plan, ladies and gentlemen, in my humble judgment, can change the world. And I think if we change a little bit of our world at Harper College and in our district, we'll change a little bit of the world for our state. If we change a little bit of the world for our state, we'll be a part of changing the world for the nation. And by God, if we change the world for the nation, we can have an impact on the globe that we're a part of. So our goal with this conference is to help you, help us, see through how we make our vision a reality. Now, we've done a really good job over the years connecting with one another, sort of individually. I mean, we reach out back and forth between a school district and a president once in a while. Once in a while, Dave. Every now and then. We reach out episodically with our workforce development system, and we try to think about a way we can leverage some grant dollars and create something that both of us can work with. We reach out to our employers, and we form employee advisory groups, and we put them around programs, and we work one-on-one. And we occasionally try to pull together the folks, the mayors out there and people responsible for economic development to help us think about, well, what would really make a difference with respect to either a legacy industry or a new industry that we'd want to attract and keep. And individually, we've done some pretty good work. Part of the world in which we are moving into with respect to resources and the scarcity of them don't allow for these old connections to work very well anymore, because there's just not enough money in the room when you think about changing the world. So what we would suggest is that there's a new normal, and Rick Mayer is going to talk about this soon, that fundamentally understands our boundaries have to be permeable. We have to develop a fabric of institutional interwovenness without jeopardizing or being conflicted around political boundaries. You know, by God, if we thought about that, we'd be spending the rest of our lives trying to change the world. But there are ways in which we can develop goals that we mutually share and commit resources that we mutually have, so that together we're a far more powerful institution or federation, if you will, by working together, by collaborating with one another. And fundamentally, that's what the design of this conference, this planning model that we are getting ready to implement, assumes. It assumes that we will find specific connecting points, whether you're Dave Sam and the president of Elgin College, or Peg Lee over at Oakton, or John Peters at Northern, or Nancy Robb over in the district, or Jack Lloyd at his financial institution, or whoever, what role you might come from, that we have to find ways to connect these boundaries in a woven fashion, not structurally changing the political jurisdiction again, but absolutely creating permeability so that we can work and leverage resources. And we hope to come out of this conference with some directions that will move us there. Now, who's in this room? First of all, thank you so much for saying yes. I mean, I'm pretty amazed, to be honest with you. Last time I saw this much talent and this many smart people, I was sitting in your meeting Saturday, Andrew, with the brightest bunch of students I've ever seen from around the state of Illinois. Those folks had firepower. These folks have firepower. We have in this room what we hope will represent for you over the course of the next some 24 hours, some 48 hours, what we would describe genuinely as a professional learning community. We have national experts. We're going to hear later, if the technology all works, from Tony Carnavelli. I know we'll hear from Jim Applegate. He's coming up from Indianapolis. Jim will crawl if he has to, so he'll get here. We heard earlier in the fall from Jane Oates, and Jane helped with a paper that Trig, you and Andy worked on. So we've had some national folks help us with this dialogue. We've got policymakers in the room. We have Judy Irwin here from the State Board of Higher Education. We have Elaine Johnson from ICCB. We have Brian Zedema. And Brian, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here from the Employment Training Administration in our region. I mean, these are people that make a difference with policy. We need them in this conversation. We have superintendents in the room. All three of them showed up. I cannot tell you how proud I am to have Nancy and Dave, and where's Tom? Back here in the back. We can change the world. But we can't change the world from our own individual offices. We can change the world in a room like this. We have workforce board system here. Jennifer Stosh is with us.